everyone. It's so good to be back here again. Thank you so much for always tuning in to my channel. Thank you for your love. Thank you for your support. Thank you for the growth so far. You guys have been awesome and I really do appreciate you. Thank you so much. And don't forget, I am here also to give you the latest news, the hottest, most reliable and authentic news. So guys, you have to stick to this channel. Yes, you have to be here and share this with your friends and families so that they won't, be far from recent and updated news. Thank you so much, guys. Okay, and don't forget, we have something here, and APC and the national chairman of the party has taken Obaseseki to court, and of course, Obaseseki as well has taken the chairman of the party to court over the mode of primaries that would be adopted in the state. And of course, we know that Governor Obaseseki has not agreed to the direct primaries that the national chairman has adopted. So it has been taken to court, and the hearing will be on Monday. But before then, what happened that they had to go to court? I'm bringing that to you. And Inec as well have expressed their fears over the state primaries, and it seems INEC have said that they will go with the mode in whichever way the party has agreed and adopted, and they have a very short time. I'll bring the details of this news to you shortly, but before then, guys, if you haven't subscribed, please endeavor to hit the subscribe button right now. Yes, the red button right there, hit it right away, and also ensure that you give this video a thumbs up. You guys are simply awesome. Thank you. Okay, let us get to the details of the news. As it says that amid the raging crisis rocking the Edo State chapter of the All Progressive Congress over the mode of primary to be used in the conduct of its June 22 governorship primary, the Independent National Electoral Commission has said it will only honor the mode of primary submitted to it by the national chairman of the party. The Inec National Commissioner and Chairman, Information and Voter Education Committee, Festus Okoye, told our correspondent in Abuja that the Commission's rules, regulations, and law allowed it to only relate with the National Chairman and National Secretary of political parties. He stressed that regardless of what was happening in the state branches of parties, the Commission would only recognize the date, venue, and mode of primary submitted to it by the two national officers. The two factions of APC in the state had been at each other's throat over the mode of primary to be adopted to pick the party's candidate for the September 19 governorship election. The national chairman of the party, Adams Oshiomhole, is said to be in the same camp with the factional chairman of the party in the state, David Imuse, had insisted that the party would use direct primary to select its candidate. Oshiomhole, believed to be opposed to the re-election of Governor Godwin Obaseseki, had also gone ahead to write Inec through a letter dated May 19, 2020, stating that the party had chosen direct primary for the selection of its candidates for the election. But the state chairman of the party, Anselm Ojezuwa, said to be supporting Obaseseki, has said the party's state working committee chose indirect primary. He explained that the National Executive Council of the party had said each state was at liberty to adopt any method of preference. Ojezuwa accused the National Working Committee headed by Adams Oshiomhole of imposing the direct primary on the state as a means to oust Obaseseki from the race. I believe you all understand what is happening here, because the national chairman have sent a letter to Inec that they would run a direct primary, and the state chairman has also told Inec that they will run an indirect primary. So you can see that there is a twist right here, and that has to be corrected, and that is why they are going to court. But just relax, I'll bring that to you shortly. Meanwhile, to counter the letter written by the Oshiomhole to Inec that the party would do direct primary, the governor, in a gazette signed on May 28 and published on Friday, banned political gatherings that could make direct primaries possible in the state. Obaseseki insisted that by virtue of the gazette, only direct primary could be Only indirect primary could be held in the state and in only one location. However, following the altercation and rising tension over which mode of primary Inec would recognize for the APC in the state, Okoye told us that the law only allowed the commission to relate with the national chairman and national secretary when it pertained to party primaries. He said Inec does not deal with state branches of political parties in matters relating or connected with the conduct of party primaries. Section 85, subsection 1 of the Electoral Act 2010, as amended, makes it mandatory for political parties intending to nominate candidates for elective offices to give the Commission 21 days notice of its intention to conduct party primaries. In our rules and regulations, the letter to this effect is signed by the national chairman and national secretary of political parties, indicating the date, time, venue of the conduct of party primaries and the mode of the primaries. The mode of primaries to be adopted by political parties is a function of their constitution, the Electoral Act 2010 as amended, and the regulations and guidelines issued by Inec. So we don't have business with the state branches of political parties because our rules, regulations, and laws say we would relate with the national chairman and the national secretary in terms of fixing party primaries, whether direct or indirect. So guys, you've heard it that the state chairman can really have little or nothing to do because this has to deal with the national body of the party. The commissioner will not dictate to political parties the mode of primaries to adopt, as it is purely legal and party affairs. What is certain is that the commission will monitor the primaries and provide protective equipment of a staff that will be involved in the process. Out of the 18 political parties in the country, Okoye said 15 parties had indicated their intention to conduct primaries, and out of which 14 opted for indirect primary, while only the APC opted for direct primaries. I believe we understand why they opted for that, and we just hope that it gets better. He said 15 political parties have indicated their intention to conduct primary. Out of that, 14 said they would conduct indirect primary, while the APC said it would conduct direct primary. It's business of political parties what mode of primary they want to adopt, so long as they follow their own constitution. So that is from INEC, that they don't care the mode of primaries they want to use. What really matters to INEC at this point is as far and as long as they follow the constitutions of their party. To asked if the outcome of any of the court cases over the APC mode of primary change anything about the forthcoming primary, Okoye said, "We don't speculate, we obey judgment of courts of competent jurisdiction." Already, INEC Chairman Professor Mahmood Yakubu on Friday during the first virtual consultative meeting of the Interagency Consultative Committee on Election Security expressed fears about looming acrimony in the primary of the political parties in Edo and Ondo State governorship election, which is scheduled to hold on October 10th. Yakubu had said the primaries for the nomination of candidates for the Edo governorship election have commenced. As you are aware, the conduct of primaries by political parties tend to be very acrimonious. The acrimony is carried forward into the electioneering campaigns and election day activities. Already, there are warning signals. Meanwhile, Obaseseki has insisted that there would be no direct primary in the state, stressing that only indirect primary could hold in the state in accordance with the rule gazetted in newspapers on Friday. Yes, Obaseseki has gone ahead to gazette a kind of a rule that there will be no direct primary in the state, and he has addressed that to all the newspapers, and it has been carried out. So the new rule partly reads that in respect of political gatherings for the purpose of conducting primaries for any of the parties desiring to field candidates in the forthcoming gubernatorial election, gathering of more than 20 persons may be allowed, subject to the written approval of the governor if such gathering do not exceed 5,000 persons, hold in Benin City and in a single facility with a large seating capacity of not less than 10,000 persons are provided with adequate health safety and sanitary facilities, and our COVID-19 response complaints with social distancing policy, hand washing, and proper use of face masks fully observed. Also, the governor said, who spoke through his special advisor on media and communication strategy, Mr. Crucio Osagi, told one of our correspondents on Saturday that the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19 has said in its briefing that states should manage the pandemic through measures unique to their states. On the basis of that, we have deployed this measure in Edo State. The rule has been gazetted, and so direct primaries cannot hold here as far as the regulation is concerned, so it has to be indirect in order to be working in line with the extant rule in the state. The only mode of primary that is permissible according to that law is indirect primary, and we believe it is correct to do so, because for that option it is just one location and you cannot deploy all agencies of government responsible for ensuring compliance with the protocols. So the location is so large that you could have a space for about 15,000 people, but it could be occupied by 3,000 people. There will be enough social distancing and spacing in that some location, as opposed to having that primary election in 192 wards across 18 local governments, and you could have about 200 to 300 persons at each ward. That would be a recipe for disaster in this period of COVID-19. Yes, he also said our expert did an epidemiological study in March, and a curve was drawn. That curve indicated that we could reach the climax on June 28th. That was long before APC released the timetable for primary election in March, and it fixed it for June 22. When reminded that the national chairman of the party already wrote to Inec that the party would use direct mode of primary, Osage said he can write, and the fact that he wrote doesn't mean that it is what is going to happen. That is what is going to happen. The rules have to be followed. Don't forget that the first responsibility of the governor is to protect the lives and property of the people. Inec also said it has suspended the collection of permanent voters' card and a continuous voters registration exercise in Edo and Ondo State because of the COVID-19 pandemic. And of course, APC says that they chose direct primary to avoid crisis in APC. And of course, the National Publicity Secretary of the APC, Lanre Issa Onilu, had explained that lessons drawn from mistakes made during the 2018 governorship primary in Rivers State influenced the decision of its National Working Committee to choose direct primary in Edo State. He added that the COVID-19 pandemic also played a role in the party's decision. He added, even if there was no crisis in Edo, the direct primary would still be the safest mode of this election for us to avoid any bobby trap from past shocking experiences. The last time we did primary in Edo, it was direct primary. We don't have to start something new. He said if the party had held direct primary in Rivers State, it would have avoided what befell it after. The same foundation has been laid for a repeat of the situation in Edo State with a disputed executive, and they are in court with the multiple cases. It is in the best interest of our party to do what cannot be affected by any litigation, he added. He said it will not make much sense now to bring together over 5,000 delegates into a single venue when the indirect method would require much people. And of course, he asked why the National Working Committee chose the direct mode primary. He said that was contrary to the choice made by the state chapter of the party. He said the courtesy to allow the local players make input is part of our way of ensuring the smooth participation of everyone at the end of the day. The buck stops at our decks to ensure that we do what is in the best interest of the party. As it is now, direct primary is what is best for the party in Edo State. And of course, it said they have strategy and other stuff that they can use to win Edo State. And of course, PDP also said that they've gotten a lot of strategy that they would use to win the Edo State election. And of course, there's still a legal battle between the APC and Obaseki's lawyer, because it's been in court on which mode of primaries that they are going to use. And the legal battle between Obaseki and Oshomole over the mode of primary begins on Monday, which is tomorrow, at the Federal High Court in Benin. The court sitting in Benin had on Tuesday last week adjourned legal arguments on the ex parte motion seeking to prevent the National Working Committee and Oshomole from using direct primaries to elect the governorship candidate of the party till Monday. In a suit filed by the factional state deputy chairman of the party, Pastor Kenneth Asemokai, and the governorship aspirant of the party, Matthew Idwori Ekeme, the duo are seeking to restrain the APC from adopting the direct mode of primaries. Also joined in suit is Inec. The presiding judge, Justice Mohammed Umar, declined to grant the ex parte motion. He gave the defendants 3 days to file their papers to show why the injunction should be granted, and adjourned the case till Monday, which is tomorrow. So guys, you have to keep your fingers crossed and wait, and let's see what the judgment would be, if APC in Edo State is going to adopt the direct primaries or they are going to adopt the indirect primaries. But at the end of the tunnel and at the end of the day, we hope that the best happens in Edo State, and we also pray for the governor of the state that God will continue to guide him and protect him and help him to do the right thing. So that is it, guys. Don't forget to drop your comments. We'll be waiting to hear and also read from you. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Please hit the subscribe button. Thank you for staying tuned to this channel. I really appreciate you. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Do have a pleasant day. Bye.